This is Sam's O-Gauge Trains and welcome to another video. In today's video, I hope to clear up some confusion about the O-Gauge train community. When people hear about O-Gauge trains, a lot of them refer back to what their grandparents had. Post-war Lionel trains that were durable and were meant to be played with. While yes, those are considered O-Gauge trains, there is another side to the O-Gauge community. In the modern era, when MTH, Mike's Train House, started to compete with Lionel, the quality and prices of these trains started to increase. A lot of model train products were produced exactly to scale. Now you may be asking yourself, weren't Lionel post-war trains O-scale as well? Yes and no. Lionel post-war and MPC era trains are what we now classify as semi-scale. They are roughly 1/48th scale and have some details. Now, model trains can also be produced exactly to scale. If one was to do the math to compare a real-life boxcar to a scale model, the math would add up. These newer scale models feature adequate details that semi-scale trains just don't have. In this video, we will compare a scale Vision Line reefer to a semi-scale reefer boxcar. Let's take a look at the semi-scale model first. The model has a plastic body with plastic trucks. The axles and wheels are metal. On the bottom, the plastic has been molded in a specific way to show underbody detailing. On the sides, there are no separately applied details like we'll see in the Vision Line reefer. The logo and the car numbers have been painted or stamped on the sides. All the wood-sided detailing is also a plastic mold. On the top you can see the hatches, but they are not functional or operational. Now, let's take a quick look at the Vision Line reefer. Already you can see a size difference in the two models. The scale model features a lot more detailing as well. If we look underneath the model, you can see the plastic mold, but other details seem to be separate from the body. The trucks are actually metal compared to the ones on most semi-scale models. On the sides you can see rivet detailing, ladders and handles that are separate from the body, and the door even has hinges. On the top, the reefer features hatches that actually open and close. You can also see a walkway the brakeman would have walked on. These O-scale models tend to double the price of most semi-scale models, but O-scale products offer more detailing. Now that two different variations of O-Gauge trains are offered, the semi-scale products tend to be marketed towards those who want to enter the hobby or just get started. Scale products are marketed towards those who have been collecting and tend to be more invested in the hobby. These different variations in the O-Gauge community really open up the door for creative opportunity. One can create an exact scale replica of a certain region or area, and another can create a layout that may have been seen in the post-war era. Sometimes you can even mix and match the two if you do it the right way. There is no right or wrong way to participate in the hobby. It's your world and you can create it however you choose. In this video, I just wanted to shed light on the difference between semi-scale and O-scale. In this video, I also wanted to showcase some layouts that I personally think are really fascinating. I reached out to various model railroaders through social media, and I asked them if I could showcase their layouts. All these examples show the different possibilities in our hobby. The first example here comes from Ben's Trains. This is a very creative way to run your trains. I personally have not seen this very often at all. He has created a floor layout that travels around a couple rooms in his house. It's really cool. Go check him out. All the social media links will be in the description. The next example here comes from Jurgen. His layout features exquisite detail and multiple levels of train action. It's just mind-blowing. I'm just going to let the pictures do the rest of the talking. Up next is Mac the Mike. When I reached out to him, he was more than happy to showcase his layout. He also has some wise words for anyone watching this video. He says, "Even if you have a small layout such as mine, which is only 9 feet by 4 feet, you can still have a lot of great detail and a lot of scale items incorporated into your layout. Both Lionel and MTH and others make a great amount of scale items that can navigate smaller curves and fit into a smaller layout. Just because you have a small space doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice on detail or quality. Sometimes you just need to be creative and oftentimes selective about what you want to have on your layout when working in a smaller space. But just because you have a small space doesn't mean that it can't be awesome. Some of my favorite things on the layout include the filler areas of farms on the back corners of the layout. Those are some of my favorite spots and angles that I really love the most. The use of a flat barn, hay bales, the corn stalks, and fencing I think really add to the character of the layout. Even though you may only have a small space to work with, don't let that limit what you can do with your layout. Next up is Maxrailroad. His 4x8 O-scale layout is action-packed, featuring 2 loops of track. The inner loop is also a figure 8. When I reached out to him, he was still working on a lot of scenery, so make sure to follow his progress on Instagram page and his YouTube page. Both of those and all of the social media accounts will be linked in the description below. This layout I'm sure a lot of viewers are familiar with. Maxrailroad has created a spectacular O-scale layout. His layout is one example of how detailed a layout can be. Next up is Stephen Cofferel. His main layout is modeled to represent things he grew up around as a kid. It's a beautiful collection to say the least. He is currently working on a wonderful post-war layout as well. Make sure to check out his progress on his YouTube channel to learn more. Here is a layout for post-war advocates such as myself. Rail Chief 74 has a neat action-packed post-war layout. It's really cool, really spectacular. It just kind of showcases everything that was available during the post-war era. Last but certainly not least is Big Maxrailroad. His layout does a great job of mixing and matching scale and semi-scale products. I personally love all the chassis system engines and the rolling stock that he has. These are just some examples of what the hobby of model trains has to offer. There are so many more wonderful layouts out in the world. One of the main reasons why I created this video was to showcase and highlight amazing layouts that I believe need to be shared and to offer inspiration to you, the viewer. That is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Special thanks to everyone for sending me various pictures and videos to inspire all of you watching this video. It is greatly appreciated. Just keep in mind that the links to all these social media pages will be in the description below. Go and check out all these wonderful layouts if you want to see more.